Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Amy and I'm a hairdresser and makeup artist. And today I wanted to make a video for my channel, kind of welcoming myself back on here. I haven't made a video for about a year. Now 2023 for me is all about stepping out of my comfort zone and into the new world of putting myself out there, something that has always scared the life out of me in the past. Even making this video right now I feel like really nervous, but it's something that I really want to do, so I'm gonna do it. So with this first video I just wanted to welcome you to my channel, obviously tell you a little bit about the plans which I've got for it, and I just wanted to make this video about the things which I'm doing this year to help keep myself aligned with my goals and the things which I really want to achieve. So yeah, this first video is actually going to be really nothing to do with hair and makeup, but I promise you that the things I've got planned for the rest of the year, there's going to be lots of hair and makeup videos on the channel. So the first thing which I want to talk about, which I've done this year and I have done for the last few years and I found really powerful, is I've made a vision board for 2023. So if you've not heard of what a vision board is, a vision board is literally photos which you've chosen that are similar to the ones in your mind of things which you want to attract into your life, and all you have to do is go through I usually just go on the internet and Google and look around for photos of things which I want to attract, and all I do is print all of those pictures off. I cut them all out and then I get creative and I put them all onto a board, and usually I make 2 copies. So I have 1 copy in the space where I work, which is like my office, which I'm in at the minute, and I also keep one in my bedroom so that when I'm getting ready in the morning I look at it and I'm like, we need to be aligned with these things today. I've actually done vision boards for the last couple of years and I've found that the most insanely crazy things have come into my life purely from me doing them. Like, I'll give you a few examples. Like, I actually did a video that's on my YouTube channel about a few years ago when I went to take on a salon. I had a complete nightmare with it. If you want to watch the video, it's really crazy. But yeah, I went through a lot and I was in a lot of debt and I wanted to manifest a certain amount of money by a certain date. So I put on my vision board a check for like 15 grand and put the date on it for, I think it was like July. That was the year of the pandemic, and every day. But the thing is, the one thing that I've learned with doing the vision boards doing the vision board is really fun because it really makes you dig deep and think about the things that you want. And it's really fun, obviously, creating like a board of like ideas and things that you really want. But you've got to align all of your actions to like achieve the things on it that you want. So that the money one was a really strong one that year, and I think I did the vision board in the January, and then I wanted the money to come into my life by the July, and crazily enough it did. And it was the year of the pandemic and I don't know, it was mental. Just watch the video. But that was just an example. But one of the things which I did do that year with money from like January to March before the COVID hit, was I was like saving money. I wasn't going out, I wasn't buying taxis, coffees, like takeaways and eating out all the time like I would normally. I was really cutting back and I was still doing things. I wasn't like, you know, just not doing anything, but I was just really aligning myself with saving money that year. And then crazily enough, it just came into my life by the July. Another example which I really want to quickly tell you about from that vision board of that year 2020, I put on my vision board pictures of online courses because one of my goals that year was to create an online course and yeah, start teaching some of my work online, and it is still one of my ongoing goals that I'm going to work on this year, that is. So yeah, I had some like pictures of online courses on my vision board, and that year when the pandemic hit in the March, I then like bought some filming equipment and started making some videos, and a few for YouTube I think, and I was doing some for like Instagram. I started to actually create this online course where I was filming me doing hairstyles on my dolls' heads. One of my old friends got in touch with me from years ago, got in touch with me and was like, Amy, I've seen you making a few videos online, I just wanted to reach out my business, he's got an online business. I don't know exactly what he does. I just know he does a lot of online and it does really well. But he was like, one of the things which my business is going to start doing is working with freelancers like yourself, he said, who want to create online courses to teach the skills which you do. Yeah, so from there I obviously got in touch with him and I filmed all my online course and set it up really easily, but just him getting in touch for me was like the law of attraction at its finest. Getting in touch to be like, you need help with this, and I don't know, came out of nowhere. So yeah, that's another example. So if you're new to making vision boards, I would recommend that you just think about the things which you want to attract this year. They could be related to anything, where you live, your job, how much money you have, saving up for a car, manifesting a baby, a holiday, traveling, new partner. It could be anything which you want to attract. I would just really dig deep and visualize like the things that you want, and then I'd just go online, print off a load of pictures, kind of like reflect the images in your mind. Doesn't have to be exactly the same, but I have heard of some crazy stories of people manifesting like the exact thing they put on their vision board. So I say not exact, but yeah, just think about it clearly when you're doing it. There's a girl actually, Francesca Amber, I listen to her podcasts. I would recommend doing the same. She's amazing. She's got a podcast called The Law of Attraction Changed My Life. She actually put a picture of a guy that she saw on some dating site, I think Plenty of Fish, on her vision board. And this was like 3 years ago, on one of the vision boards. She kept looking at it. Anyway, 3 years later, she ended up being set up on a blind date, and it was the exact guy off the vision board. So yeah, think about what you want. Put the pictures all over a board. I tend to put the year in the middle, and then around I'll put I tend to put them in order that I want them to manifest. But you could do it however you wanted. You could do it in you know, areas of your life if there's a few different ones, or you know, whichever way you want it to go. But yeah, once you've done that, I would recommend that you just stick it up somewhere where you're going to look at it every day. I find the morning is a really good time because, you know, new day. So yeah, look at it every day and just align your thoughts, your actions, and yeah, everything with it. So I wish you luck with that. That's one of the things which I'm going to do this year, and I'll show you actually my vision boards. I've got them from the last 3 or 4 years. I won't show you them too clearly because they're quite private, but here's a little idea to see what mine look like. Quick blitz. And you'll also notice that on mine, I also, for me, want to attract, I mean, people say, oh, money doesn't make you happy, but I actually think life is probably a lot easier if you've got more money. So one of the things to make me feel grateful in my life is to always have a £50 note next to my vision board. Let me show you it. And I've got a little sticker saying, thank you for all of the money throughout my life. So yeah, I look at that every single day as well. The second thing which I want to talk about in this video is reading or listening to motivational books, and I want to recommend to you 4 books which have really helped me, and 2 of them were recommended to me by someone who is super successful, and yeah, I was really grateful to get the recommendation years ago. For me personally, I don't have the time to sit and read usually, so because I do a lot of driving, I tend to listen to any books on my Audible when I'm driving, and I have to drive to Stafford every single week, which gives me 3 hours of reading time, but I know that it's not easy to fit in reading. So if you have a bit of a tight schedule, and putting your headphones in and listening to a motivational book while you clean, work, walk, drive, anything is a good way of just getting some motivation in. Now the 4 books which I really want to recommend to you, the first book I'd start with is one by Jen Sincero. 2 of them are by her, but it's called You Are a Badass. Now this book is all about motivating you to just do the things which you really want to do in your life. This book particularly is the first one which I would start with, because we're all badasses. The second book for me is also by her, and it's called You Are a Badass at Making Money. Jen Sincero, the woman who wrote it, basically one of her blockages in life was making money. She was a freelance writer, and yeah, she didn't make big money until she was in her 40s, and her story in this book just makes you really realise that anything is possible. And not only that, but the first two books, both of her books are really funny, so I feel like it's a really uplifting read and it really just makes you want to go for it. The third book which I want to recommend is called The Magic of Thinking Big. Now, I got recommended this book by somebody who is a self-made millionaire, but this particular book is all about making you realise that we should be thinking big. Like, we shouldn't be just kind of keeping our goals and our what we can earn and what we can do small, because there's endless possibilities out there, and I know there is. So yeah, that is a really good book, especially for somebody who's wanting to start a business, or if somebody who wants to, I don't know, start something new career or go freelance. Yeah, it's a really good one. So yeah, The Magic of Thinking Big. And then the last book which I'm going to recommend, which, to be honest with you, this wouldn't really align with everyone's goals. It depends what your goals are. One of the things for me, being a freelance hairdresser and makeup artist, is delegation. One of the biggest problems which I found in my life, I had actually a really bad experience when I was training, where this particular person I was working under was just so lazy. She just wanted me to do absolutely everything of a job, and ever since then I feel like it's actually scarred me to the point where, like, now I like to just do everything myself. I don't like to put on anybody, but it has got to the point in my business where the only way that I'm going to grow it now is to delegate to others, and that's something this year which I'm going to really work on. So the book which I want to recommend to you is The E-Myth. This again was also recommended by my person who's really successful in my life. This book's all about yeah, it's all about delegating and how small businesses just aren't going to survive if it's just a one-man band. So yeah, I really want to recommend those 4 books to you as like a starting point to listen to kind of get you motivated. Now, the third thing which I want to talk about in this video is the phrase clear space, clear mind. Now, this might not relate to you. You might be like super organised, super clean and super clear with everything in your life, and I'm pretty sure that if that is the case, then it will reflect in your business and the things which you do. For me personally, I've always been very busy the last couple of years with my business, and I've definitely felt like, definitely my home at times everything's just been a little bit everywhere. Things haven't been organised. I've not always took the time to keep things really in place and organised. So at Christmas, I went to visit one of my friends. Now, my friend she's amazing. She's like really successful. She's a fashion stylist. She's worked for some of the biggest brands, and she is honestly the most organised person I've ever like met. She is like on it. Everything, like when I've worked with her, she's like a computer. She's literally like, if you say, oh, something needs doing, she's literally done it. She just efficiently manages to deliver the things that she wants to do every single time. So I went to go visit her over Christmas, and I remember going to her house and I was like, whoa, this house is like super organised. Like, just every single thing about it was just so, like, there was no clutter anywhere. Everything was really clean. Everything was just really, yeah, in its place. And I came away from her house feeling like, oh my gosh, I feel like this obviously is a reflection of how she keeps her, you know, business and mind and all the things she's doing the same, because she's working in a clear space. So I literally got home that day, and it was New Year's Eve. I got back. New Year's Eve, I got back, and I had this idea in my head that I was gonna gut my house. So I went through every single cupboard, every single wardrobe, everywhere, like, and I chucked away, like, I'll try and put a picture up here. I chucked away like 12 bin bags. Tom was like, what is going on with you? I cleared the whole house out, and honestly I felt so much better. And I think that that's been one of the things this year, from having a really clean space, has made me be like, right, now's my time to get organised and yeah, really go for these things. So if you are like me and used to working, or, you know, being in a bit of a crazy space where things are a little bit everywhere, try getting a little bit more organised and see if that reflects on how you feel and how things come together when you're working. A few books that I've read, because I don't know, I say this, but who's got time to go around cleaning like, you know, the whole house, doing every single cupboard? That does require a lot of time. And obviously I was off over New Year, so that's how I think I found the time. But yeah, in the books they do say that even just cleaning one cupboard out per day or per week will make you feel better internally. The fourth thing which I want to talk about is the power of scheduling in what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. In the past, one of the things which has really held me back in like doing new things or creating new habits is I've made the time to do these things, but because I haven't planned out exactly what I'm going to do before, I've got to that time and then I've like procrastinated, I've talked myself out of it, I've fumbled through, I've literally found anything to do other than the thing which I really need to do, and then that time's gone and then it hasn't happened. So one of the things which I've really done this year is I've organised my calendars and I know exactly what days I'm working in the salons. I'm going to plan 3 months ahead exactly what I'm going to do with all of those spaces of time so that I make sure that I get those things done. Now, I've really struggled with this in the past, like I said, but I've found that this year I feel different about it and I've definitely made enough time for me to do those things. The books which I've used, I will put below actually here, obviously all of the books that I recommend. I'll also put down my online systems which I use for my business, which have really helped me, because I don't use that Google Calendar because I have to do the hair appointments and the weddings. I use Fresher. Or Schedule. They've got two names. It's got two names for some reason. And then also I do have a paper diary which looks like this. I got this in Primark and it's got some pretty pictures on it of the moon. But yeah, I do keep a paper diary, and this isn't to write in all of my appointments for work. It's literally just to write down the other things which I need to do, and if I've got things on. And yeah, it's just good to have this as well, because if I get any like ideas for things, I can just write them down and then they're here. The fifth thing which I'm doing this year, which is something that I said a little bit about this earlier, but I've always really struggled with it, is delegation. And that's why there's only so many hours in the day, in the week, and if you are finding that one of the things which is stopping you doing the things which you want to do is time, then try and delegate some of your tasks, whatever it will be, out to other people. For me, I realised that two of the things which were really taking up a lot of my time that I was doing on my days free when I should have been working on the things which I really wanted to do that were going to help me grow were my replies to my clients and also my cleaning. I would get a free day and I'd have all these plans of like going to the supermarket, cooking a load of food, cleaning the whole house, texting all the clients back. So this year, to make me more time efficient, I've got a cleaner for my house and the salon, and I'm also, like I say, going to be getting Kath back to do my replies for me, so that on my days free now I can sort of like jump straight into doing the things which I really want to do, which are going to help my business grow. I mean, those things are just things for me personally, but they could be anything. They could be help with something else. Maybe a job you're doing is going to help your business grow, that you're doing yourself, that's taking up a lot of time, that you could delegate to somebody else to do. And then the last thing which I want to recommend to you is a guy called Les Brown, and he's a motivational speaker on Audible, which is the app which I use to download all my books which I listen to when I'm driving or whatever else I'm doing. Yeah, you can download, I think it's like a book or I don't know, a collection of his the very best of him and his motivational speaking. And I find that even by doing all of the things which I've just talked about, so doing the vision board, doing the planning, having the ideas, having everything which I want to do, there's always a part of me when I'm doing something that's out of my comfort zone, aka making this video, that makes me feel a bit nervous, anxious, and yeah, but listening to his motivational speeches, honestly, it helps me so much. I can't even tell you. He speaks to the soul, and he really makes you realise that I know that we are, by our news and our media, projected on as kept small, and we don't want to be big thinkers and big dreamers, but this guy really makes you realise, well, encourages you to not think that way. Not only is he super inspiring, influential, like successful now, but he's really funny, and it's really, you can really relate to things which he's talking about. So yeah, it was really funny actually. Before I made this video, I was like getting a little bit like, I wrote down everything which I'm going to talk about, and I was a bit like, I had to put my battery in my camera, and it was like dead. So I put it on charge, and then while I was waiting for it to charge, I put his motivational speech, one of his motivational speeches on, and yeah, it definitely put me up to be like, right, no, I need to do this and I can do it. Anyway, I just want to finish this video off by thanking you so much for watching my first video. I know that it's not been hair and makeup related, but I can honestly tell you that this year I have got lots of videos planned which are going to be going up here, which are going to be all about hair and makeup. But yeah, I just wanted to do this first one just to help anybody who is wanting to align themselves with their goals this year. And if you've got to February like me and you still haven't started them, or you've kind of not been aligned with them, it's not too late to start. Also, with anything which I've spoke about in this first video, so anything of the books that I've recommended or any of the systems which I use as my calendar, I'll put all the information about the video in the description box below. I just really hope this video has helped you. So yeah, I want to thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.